Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? This month we are officially missing one day, which is yesterday. And because we didn't stream yesterday, there are things that I want to address before we do anything else, which is what essentially just like what I want to talk about today. But the thing is, I fail. I failed to stream yesterday. I have, if you didn't know, I actually scheduled the live stream last night, but then decided like, I want to rest for a bit, and then I overslept again. Overslept until I was 2 a.m. And in that time, I thought about like, actually we can to just like stream at the time, but then I don't want to do it. There's something that has happened at the time that I felt like I don't want to do it. So I listened to my body and I just sleep. And in the morning, I thought about it. Is it physical or is it emotional or is it spiritual? What is it? And the obvious thing that is happening at the time was I actually did something to my body physically because I was exercising and then I feel that I altered too much of my body that it become uncomfortable at one point that I just don't address it. But in that moment, I understand, oh, this is actually a bit too much of a stretch. So I tune my body back to its original state, and now we are fine. All of a sudden, we are fine. But then we have failed. Like we didn't actually do anything for this project yesterday because we have promised ourselves that we're going to come up like every single day. But then I have this inclination, I just don't want to do it. And we understand that the first thing is because it's physical sensation that we just have that overstretch moments that just makes our mind doesn't want to cooperate, and that's the thing. And then there's also like the emotional part, which is psychologically psychologically is that I have shared about this live stream in my main channel, in my main socials, and I feel like I feel overwhelmed at the time because I have been do this, I have been do that, but then it come to a point where I think I actually don't want to share it. I'm fine when I'm doing it by my own. Just like, and then a couple of you are tuning in, and I'm like, oh, that's sweet. And then there are 7 people who are subscribed to my channel. I'm like, that's cool. I don't mind it. I don't mind people who are watching me. But then when it comes from like, okay, this is this space that I have that I share to my audience in my other socials, it becomes like, okay, I actually don't want to tune in. And that's why like when I'm about to stream, I just don't want to do it. And then it comes to it's starting like that encoding broadcast. My internet is not good, so if it's glitching, if it's buffering, if I don't make, if my words doesn't make sense, let me know in the chat. And also, I don't know how many people are watching this, so if you are here, it's be wonderful if you say that I'm here and all that stuff. This type 8 if you are here. So I also understand this part of moments where you essentially have failed and then you don't necessarily fail at one point, but you decided that it's a failure. So you create this space between what was before it happened, and then what is happening, and then what will happen after. And because I have set up that I have failed. So what going to happen now, knowing that I have failed? So okay, let me. My cat are calling me. And anyway, I am not wearing the glasses because of the fashion, because this veil is actually really slippery, and I just want to protect my eyesight with it. So that's why the glasses comes handy. Go away! Nah! Nah! Can you hear my cat in the background? I feel like you can't because their voice is such a low one. But if you can hear it, that's what I'm dealing with. Because they're hungry and I don't want to feed them. Because if they eat too much, they get fat. They eat too much and they don't move as much, and then it's like being a creeper like that. So what to do after you have set a moment in your life to be a failure? If you notice that the things that you have that causing you to fail is something that can return to its original state, like my body, then you need to do it. If you haven't found the way, then you can find the way. So there is a manifestation hack that I usually do, is that, okay, what are we dealing with? How do we want to heal this? How do we want to fix this? How do we want to accept this? And when you start to question it, and you start to find the frequency of your answers, if it fits, if it's truly like fitting into what the situation you're in, the problem you are having, the future that you are picturing yourself in, then you can actually try that one out. And I have the wisdom to find all of the necessary healing phase, just recuperating my health, recuperating my body system, recuperating my emotions, all that stuff. And if you have found that, it will be a lot easier to tune back in. But besides that, besides the physical, there are also like the healing in the emotional state, which is like, how do you actually feel like you want to do it again? Which is this one, I want to say this because this is, I feel like, contribute more besides the physical ailment that I had yesterday, is that I feel I don't want to do it and I feel gassed up about it. So there are this frustration that happened in the after effect of my overstretch my body. And I feel like, okay, I know this feeling. Like I already sense that I'm going to do something that is not aligned with my vision. And that's why, like, having a recognition, having a library of how you experience your reality is really wonderful, because then you know that we can actually fix this. So I call, how do we feel excited again? Because at this moment, because I already have the physical ailment, I start to feel like I don't feel as excited as I used to. And this doesn't make sense because we have done this for 30 days and we have fixed that area about excitement. So I'm like, okay, what is this? Why am I feeling not excited and just feeling so frustrated? And I feel the heat in my own respiratory, that word, my breathing system feels hot. And when I have that moment, I feel frustrated, and I feel my my throat chakra close off, and I'm like, okay, what is this? So I'm like, I don't feel excited. I don't have the passion to do it. I don't want to stream. And when I tune back into it, I just don't want to do it. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. You have something lined up, and you have invited people, and you cannot not feel excited. So I reject my diminished passion, and I just like look it deeper into like, okay, what can we do with this? And I call people who are like already anchor their excitement to their core, to their work, and they get to feel excited no matter what because they have proof, which is the proof is important. I know that I have a really kind person watching me every single stream that I have, every single post here that I have, and this person has monitored me for quite a while, monitoring me quite a while, and I'm like, I'm very grateful that you're here, and it's like you are my supporting team. And it's wonderful that I have that proof, but I also want the people who watch it to increase. And this is where it gas me up. I'm being so frustrated because it's like, am I doing something wrong or not having that? Is my ability to talk is the problem? What? Why is this? Why is this not like growing? And I'm like, okay. Well, if you want to grow, if you want to try to grow your space, then you can start promoting this thing, which is what I have done. But then, okay, you did it. So what's wrong? And I'm like, okay, still don't feel excited. And then I turn him back into the person who have that excitement to their to their team, to their space. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, I also want that. Then I get back to my space again, and I get back my passion again. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So that's the second part, is that when you are failing, how do you actually access all these different nuance of supports? It it can be from the proof of your work. It can be proof of how beneficial it is, the things that you have done for other people. It can also be something that is you are literally modeling someone else's motivation, passion, excitement, breakthrough, and you just feel like I want to have that, and you kind of like own the desire, and then you start to tune it back into this stream. This is what I do. And you can tune it back on to whatever you want to do. That's also one of the part. So I'm like, yeah, we are back on it again. But then there's the last thing is that it overwhelmed, because we have addressed the passion that was diminishing from our project. But then what about, what did we say? What about the overwhelm? Now this one is a lot technical in supporting yourself, because you need to understand your flow. So your flow is actually really it's not buffer, it's just stuttering. I don't know how to say it. Buffering, like you are literally like broadcasting somewhere, and the final result of your broadcasting is buffering here and there, and people can't understand what you are doing, and the people who are watching it become as frustrated as the person, as the staff who provide the broadcast. That the flow like that is not something that you want to continue to have. So now I come to realize that I tend to live stream at midnight, and can cause my flow, which is like inherently because of how I sustain my health, to become like so frustrated like that. So the flow, it's not like a freaking straight line. It's like going downwards. That's worse than this. This, you can still feel all the things that is beneficial for you, up and down. You feel the excitement, the positive, the negative, and then the positive and the negative, and you can still see that you can navigate this by having an imaginary straight line. But if it's like this is bad because there is no middle line. You're just like going downwards more instead of upwards. So I understand myself like this in such a masterful way because I have been this person my whole life. So I don't feel overwhelmed by my personal situation, condition. So I get to see myself, okay, you feel gassed up. That's what you are. If you're overwhelmed, you cannot understand the flow of the situation, and then you are here. You are here going downwards all together. But that's not true. That's the thing. When this happened, it's never been true because life is always like this. It's always like this. If it's like this, then then you choose that yourself. That's not your real flow. And when this happened, I always have this counter attack, which is, you know that what you are experiencing right now, it's not true. But what you do have is that you can let it go, let the pressure go. No one expects shit from you. Can you see yourself back up again? Just a little bit? Okay. So how can we do more? Okay. But can you see like the before this happened flow? Like before this failing happened, and then when you tap into the before, how you have been in that time, that is essentially the same people who watch you before. The people who watch you here is actually the same as people watching you here. So it doesn't make sense. Who are you trying to be? And then when you look into your identity, you don't necessarily change, nor you want to change. You're just the same person as you always been. So there's no need for you to be someone else, to become more than what you are. You just you. You just show up as yourself. So there's no need for the overwhelming to happen in the first place, right? And I'm like, that's true. I can see myself being the same person as I used to be the person that I currently am, even when I'm overwhelmed. Then I start to lift back up again. I can start I seeing myself beyond the straight middle line. Oh, now we're going back up. And then I start to see the limbo again. Okay, up and down, up and down. Okay, we are moving. Now we are fine. We can see like there are anchors in your reality that you can tune into. Overwhelm is such an illusion that you can tap out from, that you don't need to stay in it when you know that nothing is true in being overwhelmed. Like, who are you trying to prove? Who is this person that you're trying to prove? No one. I'm here not because I want someone to, what do you call it? Accept me? Admit me? I don't know. I don't know how to word this. Like that word. And I'm just here being myself. So why am I being pressured? Now I ask this myself. And I'm like, okay, I'm being pressured because I'm about to invite clients back into my work, and this tend to bring out the responsibility in me. And I'm like, great, that responsibility is great, but if it's like over responsibility, then that's not how you want your client to be. But also like I want to like create the impact that I wanted all along, and also like gain some capitals from it. And I guess that's also the thing. So I come to realize, okay, the limbo start moving, the flow is nowhere, overwhelm again, and I just like start to see the positive, negative, the two sides of the coins. Okay, we are back on it. We don't feel overwhelmed. We can sustain ourselves now. And even though like we are failing, which is we own the failing. This is something that I commented on Facebook a couple of days ago. Someone said like, okay, I wish that you guys know that you can fail, that feeling burnout from failing is something that is normal. And I'm like, but that's the thing. You cannot normalize or making your failure less than what it really is, because then you're not owning your failure. You need to let the failure being the failure instead of navigating it as like, oh yeah, we can actually do better, we can actually make this. You fail, that's it. If a scientist doesn't know they are failing, what would they do? They will keep doing the same experiment over and over again. And it's very important for them to know that they are failing, because then they get to try a different way, a different approach, a different option, a different modality. And that's why like failing is not bad because how it feels. Failing is bad because you forget that you have option. You forget that you can try other choices. That is how failing is bad. But because humans are driven by the emotion, we forget that we have that in the first place, that we can lean into our thoughts and just like move from that. So I want to leave you with that before we close the stream. But yeah, I've been working for an hour before I stream, and then I feel gassed up. I'm tired of writing, so I live stream now, and it's actually very liberating. Oh. And I think like we need to actually do this more, like live stream in the noon or the morning, because when my health declining, when my health is declining, I start to see my skin have those bubbles, which is like a side effect of my system not. Oh, there's more here. Oh shit. The side of my system not completely resting yet. So there's a few bubbles in my hands. It's like I have some water under my skin, but it's essentially just the toxin is not flushed out or processed by my system, and then it just appear on the surface of my skin. It sucks because then I need to pop it out because it's actually really itchy. It's such a TMI. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's the thing. Like I think I'm gonna stop live streaming at midnight at past past 9 o'clock. So if you fail to see me in that time, you will know that I won't stream because I just need to sleep. And also like I have been getting dreams lately, and I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. I've been dreaming again. And this is an anxious feeling that I used to have something like this. Like I think about something so deeply, and then I just don't get to fully rest. So I'm like, okay, that's not good, because then we get to wake up at night and then sleep again. Wake up at night and then sleep again. Have a nightmare and then it's like nothing. And like it's such a wave that I don't want to experience. So I need that time on and off. So I feel like I'm just going to work morning or afternoon, and then by the night I'm just going to rest, like truly for myself. Like I'm not like 24/7 on it, because I am I'm currently actually expanding how I want to my visibility online. And I think that takes away my focus a lot because I'm constantly thinking about, okay, how do we going to do that? How do we going to do that? Just not great. So I need the buffer to work for me instead of I forcefully buffering myself. So yeah, I think I'm focused on that. And do we have anything else before we close the stream? If you are here watching the stream, just chat 8, type 8 so I know that you're here. But if you're not here, then we can end the stream. Oh, this is how we see the. I didn't know. Okay. We can actually see, do you call it? Great goodness. The connection, the internet connection here. So it's interesting. It gone to red and then green again and then orange and then red. My internet is not good. That's annoying. So yeah, I'll be ending the stream right now and I'll see you tomorrow.